Alright, what is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again here on PlayStation Source. And there's been a lot of talk, today and last night about, of course, the old Days Gone 2. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember Days Gone? Remember walking in the like flower patch with your wife and everything, and the ring, and the whole what was that one like wedding scene? I'll put it here. What was that wedding scene?
Here, you can have this one back, but only if you promise to ride me as much as you ride your bike.
Whatever it is, right? Days Gone, of course, y'all remember Sony Bend back in, I believe, 2019? Days Gone came out? 2018. It was right before God of War. Besides all that, we have an interesting development here going on Twitter, and a big conversation that I definitely want to put my 2 cents in with you guys and definitely talk about. This is going to be a different video because I really want to try in 2022 to put out a lot of meaningful content, and content that really does just highlight my opinion on something, and just brings you guys what is going on in a given scenario in a given day, and give you guys my opinion on it, and just have that be done in a timely fashion. You know what I'm saying? So this might not be the most highly edited video, but I have highly edited videos in the pipeline in the future for 2022. But going on here, this is just gonna be an example of one of my quick news videos. If you guys like it, let me know down below in the comment section. Like the video, as well as hit subscribe to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. But going on here, this all starts January 5th. Game Informer, or not just Game Informer, but a lot of different publications put out this whole milestone here, that Sucker Punch announced that Ghost of Tsushima reaches another fantastic milestone with over 8 million copies sold. Regular run-of-the-mill thing, nothing too crazy here. Ghost of Tsushima, popular game, and they announced that they sold 8 million copies, which in itself, nothing to shy about. Very good milestone, you love to see it. Definitely recommend Ghost of Tsushima, all that great stuff. But then we go to a tweet here from @JakeRocket, which is of course Jeff Ross, who he used to be a former director at Sony Bend, and he had an interesting quote tweet to say about not only Ghost, but what this means and what it meant to see this in relation to making and being a part of Days Gone's development, right? So it says here, quote, "At the time I left Sony, Days Gone had been out for a year and a half and a month, and sold over 8 million copies. It's since gone on to sell more, and then 1 million plus on Steam. Local studio management always made us feel like it was a big disappointment. Hashtag Days Gone, hashtag PlayStation." So he's painting the picture here that, during its heyday, right? Like, and even like what it's been able to accomplish after the fact with Days Gone, right? In the lifespan that he was still at Sony Benz, which was, about, what is it here, a year and a half and a month, right? They were able to sell over 8 million copies in the same vein as Ghost, where Ghost came out last summer, and we're not at a year yet with Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, no. Yes, we are. Oh my gosh, 2022. Holy crap. Yeah, we are. We are like about around the same time frame, about a year and a half of Ghost being out. And, that also sold 8 million copies. But on top of that, right, you have Days Gone being launched on PC as well. And on top of that, Days Gone, mind you guys, Days Gone is on the PS Plus collection as well for PS5. So you bundle all of that, it's very clear here that, Days Gone has definitely sold more than 8 million, upwards of, he's inciting here, in the 9 to 10 million range with Days Gone. And so this obviously caused a big comparison here, like, we have Ghost of Tsushima here, which not confirmed, pretty much likely going to get a sequel on the PS5, and then we have Days Gone here, where Sony Bend, in spite of them putting out Days Gone selling over 8 million, and then now alleging upwards of 9 to 10 million, that they are not getting a sequel and they're working on a new IP. Those rumors are Men in Black. We will talk about that later on in the future. I want to just do more research about that whole thing, but the current rumor is that Sony Bend is working on Men in Black for PlayStation, and they are not working on a Days Gone sequel, which a lot of people think that, that shouldn't be the case. What's up with that? Why is local studio management making Sony Bend feel like Days Gone was a crazy big disappointment? Right? Let's jump to actually a different article that has a little bit of a different light to it, right? So this is from Eurogamer. This was put out April 18, 2021, last year, when this whole thing kicked up about how Days Gone is not getting a sequel, there's troubles at Sony Bend, whatever. And this article here states on the title, Days Gone writer says if you love a game, you should buy at full price. So this was in response and really reporting on John Garvin, who was on David Jaffe's podcast, talking a little bit about Days Gone and how it's not getting a sequel, this and the third. And so he starts by saying here, that he feels that gamers shouldn't, quote, complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if they didn't buy it at fucking full price. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of colorful word choice there. But this was him essentially making the argument that, like, hey, if you didn't buy a game at full price and you bought it on PS Plus, or you got a discount from PS Plus, or got it redeemed from one of the free games, or when he goes on to say here more in-depthly, which I'm not going to get into, but if you pirate a game and it doesn't get a sequel, you shouldn't be complaining about it, right? But then we have an interesting excerpt here that I want to read here from John Garvin. He says, don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch. It's like God of War got whatever number million of sales at launch, and Days Gone didn't. Just speaking for me personally as a developer, I don't work for Sony. I don't know what the numbers are. So at this point, he's making the claim that Days Gone didn't sell whatever number of sales, whatever number of million of sales to warrant a sequel necessarily, right? And he's saying that because people got Days Gone on sale and everything, they weren't able to reach those millions of sales, quote unquote, right? But he also says here that he doesn't know what the numbers are, right? Like, he's saying that he's speaking personally as a developer. He doesn't work for Sony at this point when he was doing this podcast, So maybe Garvin wasn't aware of the sales that, we have Jeff Ross saying here on Twitter, that Jeff Ross is definitely saying, yo, we sold 8 million and then we sold more after that with the PC release and just residual, sales after the game's initial release. And so down below in the comments, Jeff Ross was replying to some questions and some comments under his quote tweet about the sales of Days Gone and everything. There's nothing anything really juicy there, just him saying, he agrees with some people that, the game itself wasn't polished and everything, but with a sequel, it could have been more polished, better game, And then he says another tweet, which I'm trying to find, can't find it here. I'll find it later in post. But, he says that management was much better under Sean Layden in terms of letting projects, have a second shot if they sold well in spite of a critical reception on Metacritic, right? So overall, how I feel about this, I think that when you look at everything here, right, and if we are to take Jeff Ross's words on the sales number to heart, right, like if they are true, that Days Gone really did sell over 8 million copies since, a year and a half in the month after launch of Days Gone, and then 1 million plus more on Steam, etc. Like, if those numbers check out and Days Gone was a commercial success, which we have seen a lot of evidence to support that. I know Days Gone is huge in Japan and everything. And if you just take that as it is, right, it does seem a little bit unfair that we have Ghost here selling 8 million, a little bit less than Days Gone, but having a much better critical reception, which is definitely where there's a difference between Ghost of Tsushima and Days Gone, where Days Gone out the gate did not have a good critical reception or Metacritic nonetheless. And the big problem with that I've always had, and that a lot of people have said, which I'm not going to damage control for Sony Bend, I'm not going to damage control for Days Gone, what I'm saying? I didn't think it was like a fantastic, superb game. I thought it was a pretty good game. I thought it was a solid game. I enjoyed my time with it. I have always said, for me, it's been an 8 out of 10 game since I've played it. I really enjoyed my time with it. It was a cool game. I'm not going to sit here and, say it was goldie material or anything like that, but that was a good game. But the thing is that while I can say that, right, like I didn't love Days Gone, right? The problem here is that, the Metacritic score is not necessarily reflective of the major, portion of people that played Days Gone outside of the press. And what happened was that before before Days Gone came out, during the preview and review phase, right, a lot of publications got their hands on Days Gone and played it, right? But the problem was that state, aside from the patch 1 update, Days Gone without that day 1 patch was very buggy and not up to quality, right? Like, that is what when you read a Days Gone review from back in that time frame, like when the embargo lifted, you will see a very different, opinion on Days Gone than what you may have experienced on day 1, like what I did. And even I would say honestly a week or two after that, the game was in a lot better state. Now, who is to blame for that? You know what I'm saying? I can't really tell you. I can't really say, you know what I'm saying? But that's just the fact, and that's just the reality, that the reviewers got to play a version of Days Gone that players never experienced, ever. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like it's a little bit, I don't want to sit here and say that Metacritic doesn't matter. It clearly does matter to a lot of different games, and especially the Sony Metacritic matters a ton, and the critical reception matters a lot. But I feel that, Days Gone should have been treated with a little bit of a different, care and cadence. That, the user score is, an 8.4, and that's exactly where I think the Metacritic should be around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's around an 8 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? If you want to go a little bit higher than that, sure. I don't think it's a 90. That I think it's a little bit much, but I think an 8 out of 10 is definitely where Days Gone, I think, is more truthfully at overall, right? When you have that day 1 patch into it. If you want to judge Days Gone without a day 1 patch, I encourage you to judge every other game that you play without that day 1 patch and then come back to me, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to play that game, or if you want to just cherry pick Days Gone, then by all means, go ahead, you do you. But I do think that, overall, it's a little bit unfair that, Days Gone 2 isn't something that is in development. I think that Sony Ben deserved to get another crack at it, overall, right? In spite of me not thinking that the game is exceptional or like anything insane in terms of, quality, right? I do think that, they had really cool ideas in there, like the horde mechanic and everything. And the way that secret ending goes in Days Gone, if you've played it or seen it online, if you haven't, I encourage you to go look it up, because that is a crazy implication that I think they had a pretty, I don't know if it would have been good or bad, but they certainly had an idea for Days Gone 2, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I think overall, like, to really end off this whole conversation, it's that I think that Sony should do a little bit better at, hey, if a game doesn't have a crazy low critical reception, right? You know what? 71 is pretty, it's on the lower end. I can't even lie. But because of that, whole thing where the version that the reviewers got to play of Days Gone is not really reflective of the player base and everything, and on top of Days Gone having a very nice commercial success, if these numbers are true, I think it would have been worth a Days Gone 2. I personally think it would have been okay with doing a Days Gone 2, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm not Sony. I'm just a dude that has an opinion. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you guys think that Days Gone is worthy of a sequel? Do you think that it's okay to, take the Metacritic score of Days Gone with a little bit of, pinch of salt on there, because it is not reflective of what the major player base got to play? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure also, while you are down there, that description does have our Twitter, our Discord, and an anchor link that you can listen to our long form content in podcast format. Road to Forbidden West is premiering this Sunday. Definitely get hyped for that. And yeah, thank you all for watching. And as always, greatness awaits.